Hi, this video talks about fascism and protest violence. It may touch on issues like racism, sexism, homophobia, and a critique of capitalism.
Wow, the truth comes out. What, you want to turn the USA into Venezuela?
Yes, there are only two genders, USA and Venezuela. No other alternatives have ever or will ever exist. Let's do this.
Last time on the Misanthrophile. And now, the thrilling conclusion.
This clip, which I keep using in videos because I love it with every fiber of my being, is of Banana Block at an event hosted by Portland's Pop Mob, or Popular Mobilization, at the Proud Boys' August 17th rally. The idea is to protest in a fun and often absurdist way. Their motto? Be the spectacle. Pop mob tactics make counter-protests more fun, and also make far-right protests more boring. They deprive the far-right of the menacing enemy they crave. I mean, it's difficult to pick a fight with a cheerful dancing banana, and also make far-right rallies look boring and drab by comparison. It's a great way to express dissent without feeding the conservative outrage machine. I mean, how can you make what pop mob organizer Effie Baum terms riot porn or feel like a badass protector of the American way of life when your supposedly terrifying enemy is dancing around in a unicorn outfit? By making anti-fascism less confrontational and more fun, Pop Mob hopes to increase the number of people willing to counter-protest. Expanding participation is extremely important for anti-fascist action. As Mark Bray, author of the Anti-Fascist Handbook, points out, the success or failure of militant anti-fascism often depends on whether it can mobilize broader society to confront fascists. These kinds of protests also have the ability to help the left push back against the narrative that anti-fascists are violent, joyless, Stalinist thugs, provided, once again, that someone is there to videotape it. Pop Mob has been doing a pretty good job of this, but there's always room for more videos of dancing unicorns. Please, I want more clips like this. They're so wholesome and pure. For the record, Pop Mob explicitly endorses Black Bloc tactics. They believe that the Black Bloc is a necessary force to protect the activists engaged in dance parties or playing in a brass band. And I agree with that. There is a place for physical force, and that place is an active protection against imminent physical harm. But not everyone can or should be pulling security. Some people need to advertise that anti-fascism is joyous and life-affirming, because it is. Part the last, Beyond Counter-Protest. As I said at the beginning of this series, counter-protests have the ability to slow the fascist creep. But counter-protest alone cannot extinguish fascism or its threat. To do that, we need something more robust. Something systemic. Our current system isn't working very well. It is especially not working well for Black people, Indigenous people, other people of color, and those born into poverty. Those are very important issues to talk about, but something that often gets lost in the conversation is how bad our system is even for the people who have it pretty good. This is important for this conversation because a lot of white people, men, other groups with privilege hear social justice talking points for the first time, and their immediate, visceral response is,
That's absolute bullshit. No way am I profiting off systemic oppression of women and people of color. If I was, my life wouldn't suck. I wouldn't be miserable all the time.
And, I mean, he's half right. Even though he's absolutely profiting from a systemic oppression, that profit doesn't make for a fulfilling or a happy life. It's better than the lives of the oppressed, sure, but it still sucks. Our current system kinda sucks for everyone. Our economic system works because our entire culture works overtime to cultivate an immense, unsatisfied need inside all of us, something we will forever attempt to fill with consumer products, and which can, by definition, never be filled. A satisfied customer is no longer a customer, so we can never, ever be satisfied. We actively discourage people from pursuing art or passion projects, almost always on the explicit basis that they contribute nothing to the economy and GDP. Our hobbies tend to revolve around consumption. We live in an age of unprecedented material prosperity, but we are spiritually impoverished. We are empty and purposeless. live, work, die. We are apex predators, and we were not made for this life. We want purpose. We want our lives to mean something. Fascism offers an explanation for this deep malaise, then gives people purpose and struggle. No one embraces fascist ideology or far-right ideology generally because they're happy and their lives are going well. Fascism is a very bad solution to very real problems. We need to present a different purpose and a different struggle. We need to offer an alternative way to be happy. I have come to believe that the only way to do this is to transition to a system more amenable to human life. And this is where my opinions, and this video, have to end. I consider myself a leftist. I think our current system is fundamentally unjust and inhuman, but I don't know what alternatives might work, and I remain unconvinced by the ones currently on offer. I have a lot of reading to do, friends, a lot of thinking. The good news is that a lot of other people do have ideas for a better system. The bad news is that, in my experience, those ideas are often packaged for people who already agree with a lot of leftist beliefs, or for people who are college-educated and willing to read stacks of political theory books. We're going to need a lot more buy-in than that if we want systemic change. BreadTube is working to change that, which I think is pretty neat. The left needs to spend less time criticizing capitalism and more time thinking about how to fix things. This is going to involve dialogue, argument, and hard work. We're going to need to figure out a way to disagree with each other without condemning each other. That's a topic for another day. There's a sort of fundamental despair I've noticed in many lefty circles. Persistent beliefs that liberals will always become fascist sympathizers, that centrists are all beyond reach, the far right consists entirely of committed, fully radicalized Nazis. And if that's true, we might as well give up and party while the world burns. But I don't think it's true. Because I started out as a right-wing libertarian, and now I'm here. You reached me, guys. It took years and a lot of conversations that probably seemed to go nowhere at the time, but you did it. And I'm not special or unique. People want to do the right thing. People can be reached. Look, we could lose this fight. In fact, given history, we probably will. But we will definitely lose if we don't believe we have a chance. We are 100% guaranteed to lose if we don't cultivate optimism that, hey, maybe we can convince people of things. Maybe we can promote a better way to live, win popular support, and relegate fascism to the dustbin of history, instead of running from one dumpster fire to the next with a bucket of water. Thanks for watching.